Hello, I'm Unsal from NCS, and I'm here today to do a session with you all on being connected. So this session will be very interactive and engaging. So what you need for this session is a pen or a pencil and paper in front of you to take part in activities. And to begin the session with a nice activity starter, I want you all to discuss in groups what emotional well-being means. And this activity shouldn't take more than 2 minutes, and your teacher should pause this video here to give you time to discuss. Now that you've had the opportunity to discuss what emotional well-being means, your answers could have been anything like mental health, confidence, self-esteem, or anything along those lines, which are all correct. So, looking at the objectives of this session, the objectives of this session is to understand how human beings have a strong desire to reconnect with one another, especially after a period of prolonged separation. To understand how reconnecting and the social support that very often comes out of it has shown to be really beneficial in overcoming stress. And to also introduce some strategies for students to reconnect with their friends and their communities. So, part 1 of this session will be an introduction to being connected. So again, we will be starting this session, this part, with an activity. So I want you all to look at these different emojis on screen and to share which one you are today. So you could be happy, shocked, you could be upset, you could be angry, or you could even be sleepy, which is completely understandable. So again, your teachers can pause the video here for a minute or two to allow you to choose your emojis. And to proceed on, I want you all to think about what it means to be connected and who you have missed being connected to during the pandemic and how you can reconnect with that group. And also some good examples that come out of communities being able to reconnect. So this should be a group discussion for approximately around 2 to 3 minutes. And again, your teachers can pause the video here to give you that time. So someone once said, too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. So I'm going to be showing you a video of a postie filling her rounds with sparkle. So the video is about Lucy Garlick, a postie who has been helping COVID shielders on her rounds by doing shoppings or other things and helping them feel connected to the community.
Never ever did I think that wearing some silly socks would mean so much to the people on my rounds. This I bought for Fancy Dress years ago, but I gotta be honest, it's brilliant for work. Hey love, you okay?
In the darkest of times, she's been a shining light.
She's amazing.
Oh bless you.
Wouldn't want any other postie round you.
When the pandemic first hit, I saw a post on social media and I thought, what better way to try and help spread a bit of cheer on my walk than to wear daft knee-length rainbow socks. Through lockdown, a lot of these people were stuck in their houses for weeks, months on end. So I always make a point of giving them a smile and a wave, and if I can stop for a chat with them, then I will do. One day I worked as a minion, dressed as a banana, delivered Easter eggs to all the houses I knew had children on my walk. Just anything I could do, really, just to spread some cheer. Hello, love. You okay?
I've been shielding, and it's been amazing. The first week that it started, she put notes up saying, if you're shielding and you need anything, let's leave a note of what you need on the door, and after a round, she'll come back with the goods. It's, you look forward to not getting the post, but to seeing Luce.
For some people, I guess I'm one of the only people they might speak to some days. So if a smile and a 2-minute chat can keep them going for another day, then it's important that we take that time to talk to each other. Oh, hundreds, easy. The biggest thing I've learned is how far a smile and a happy face and a cheerful wave can actually go. But it is raining, so I had to have the hat on. I'll always keep that up, and if people see me dressing like an idiot but it makes them smile, then I'll keep doing it.
Sorry. So while I try to get my presentation back on, what did you all think about Lucy? So of all the things that she's been doing, the way she's been dressed, and the things that she said, how does this story make you feel? So again, this should be a 2-minute discussion among you, and the video can be paused here to allow you the time for it. So some of you might have said that she is dressed weirdly and it's kind of stupid or anything like that, or if you might have even thought of it without even saying it. And to be honest with you, she isn't denying that in the video. She has never denied that. She's supporting her community by making them laugh, smile, and even being different in a way that it's entertainment, basically. She's supporting her community by sometimes being the only person that shielders can speak to. So in that sense, she's not denying what she's doing, but she's also is aware of the benefits of it. And that is what being connected means. It's connecting to a community, supporting a community, and wanting the best for that community. So that, for example, video that we have just seen was a happy story, a good story. So you might have recently read some good news stories in your local newspaper or in generally on social media, because that's where we get our news a lot recently. So if you have, what good news stories are there that you have seen? It could be featuring your local community or just the general world. And what has most inspired you? And there's one the last thing that I want you to all discuss as well is how could you keep your school community spirit going while some year groups are not in school? So in that sense, maybe think about the friends that you might not have in your class recently, and that because they're still shielding or they are absent due to different reasons. So how can you build that community, build that connection again with your friends? So you can do this activity individually or in pairs or even as a whole class if you wanted to. And again, this activity should not take any longer than 5 minutes. And please pause this video here. So now that you have discussed your good news stories, you might have heard something in your news or over social media, or you might not have, which is completely fine. One of the good news stories that I'm happy I can share with you is that I'm recording this in May, sorry. So a few weeks ago, I have heard that UK under Queen's orders are finally banning conversion therapy, which is great, which is an amazing news considering how old conversion therapy is. It should have been banned years and years, even decades ago. As much as we are coming behind, we have finally achieved that goal and we have finally got it banned. So that is a good news story that I have recently read. That is also features my local community because as a person who is London based, who's in the UK, this impacts me and my local community and everyone that I know. So hence why it is a good news story featuring my local community. And I'm hoping that everything that you shared about what inspires you are all good things, and it's all things that you should always remember why those things inspire you. But going forwards into part 2 of our session today, part 2 is all about employability and young people making a difference. And I'm aware that this session has a lot of activities, but it's because being connected is a lot more activity based than anything that we can teach you. It's all about practice and understanding. And what better way is there to achieve that than activities, right? So hence why there is a new activity again. So there are 2 examples on this page here, which your teachers should have access to the links to. Those examples are of young people making a difference in their communities with NCS during the pandemic. So after looking at these examples, if you preferred, you could look at both of the examples all together or separate the class into 2 groups where each can look into 1 example each. And then as a class, I want you all to discuss what skills and attributes did these students show. Was it grit, determination, passion, or anything else? And also to discuss what difference did they make to their communities. This should take approximately 5 minutes to look at the examples and have that class discussion, and then we will continue on with this activity as it kind of goes more deeper into it. So your teachers can pause this video here for 5 minutes and then we can continue on with the activity. So looking at these examples, both of these group of young people have shown interest in their local community. They wanted to make a difference. So that's determination and passion. So those are some things that they have shown. And the difference they make in their communities is, for example, one of the groups have shared, have donated items for their food banks to support individuals over Christmas. And that the difference they made is supporting their communities, being a support mechanism there, supporting their communities, giving something back to their communities. Everything that they've done made a difference in their community towards something better. So now that we've kind of discussed both of these examples, in small groups, I want you all to discuss, if you were to do something today, what would you do? And to go more into this question, I want you to answer the next 4 questions. What local cause do you care about? What difference would you want to make? And how would you go about doing this? And final thing to add to this is, what skills do you have that would be helpful? So just thinking about local causes, this could be anything that's impacting your local area. So that could be poverty, homelessness, violence, human rights, or anything like that, anything you are passionate about. And I want you to think about the issue and what you want to change about that issue. In a sense, if it's, for example, food bank donations, if it's poverty and you want to support families who with low incomes, for example, you could do food bank donations or donating items. So a difference is supporting them. And how would you go about doing this as well, and the skills you will need? So again, this activity shouldn't take more than 5 minutes for you all to do and take part in. And the video can be paused here. So now that you've had the chance to discuss in small groups of the local causes and the differences that you want to make, and I'm hoping that they're all good. I believe that they're all good causes, and the differences that you want to make are all valuable and valid. And I just want to add here that there might have been some of you that thought that they don't have the platform that they might need to achieve these goals, to make that difference in their local communities. But I want you all to understand that we all have the power to do even a small change in our local communities that could create much bigger difference than we could have ever imagined. It doesn't have to start big. If you think about every charity that exists, for example, one of the major charities that focuses on mental health, which is Mind in the UK, Mind didn't start the way it is now. It started very small with a small team of a few individuals, or even one person who wanted to make that change. And then the more impact they had, the more interest they gained. And that way they kept expanding and became this huge charity. So some of the differences that these young people have made have been on NCS, and I have added this slide here, which gives you comments of young people, just like the examples that we have seen previously, on the differences they made and how they felt about it. So it's just as a reference here for you to see more of case studies. But going into the final part of the session today, which is all about being connected, I want to revisit what we've discussed previously about being connected. So being connected isn't just about a connection you have with your partners in your relationships or like soulmates or anything like that. Being connected is much more than that. Being connected is sharing the same experiences with a different person. Being connected is your classmates. You are connected to them in a different way because you are all doing the same course. Your family, your friends, those connections are all different. But you can also be connected to your local community because of the location, because of where you're based. So I wanted to show you this video, which is called The Science of Kindness. which I personally adore. And if I can get my presentation to work, I will be showing you the video.
Sometimes it's easy to feel like the world's getting harder. But if we look closer, on the news, on the web, on the street, we're anything but unkind. Every day, we hear new stories of people trying to make the world a better place. And together, we can make the world that little bit kinder for all of us. It all starts with just one person, you. The thing about kindness is that it's just about the only thing in the world that doubles when you share it. And it's a fact, backed by science. Studies have shown that if you perform just one random act of kindness a day, you'll not only reduce your stress, anxiety, and depression, but your body is flooded with the same hormones that make you and the person you've helped calmer, healthier, and happier. Serotonin, which heals your wounds, helps you relax and makes you feel good. Endorphins, which reduce pain. And oxytocin, which reduces blood pressure and makes you feel more loving and loved. You'll both be more energized, feel less aches and pains, more confident, and could even live longer. And if other people see you helping someone else, they'll be filled with those same feel-good hormones, meaning they're significantly more likely to pay it forward. Like taking that extra moment to hold the elevator for someone, spotting a coffee for a stranger who's just a few cents short, giving your neighbor a hand with their groceries, even just smiling and meaning it. It doesn't take much, but it can make a huge difference for everyone. Those people you've helped will help other people, and those other people will help even more people. And those random acts of kindness can start a chain reaction that can spread across an entire community, a city, a country, and with enough of us, the world. Now, isn't that the world we all want? And it all starts with one.
So now that we've seen the science of kindness, I want you to all think about what the main message in that video is. And if any one of you have ever carried a random act of kindness, so please discuss that and share your random acts of kindness with your teacher and your course mates. And you can do this in the next 2 minutes, and your teachers can pause the video here to allow you to talk about the random acts of kindness that you've done and all the good things that you've achieved. So now that you've discussed your random acts of kindness, if some of you couldn't think of anything, I just want you to think about these things. Have you ever walked on the street and just smiled at someone that was passing by you? Or has anyone done that to you? So if anyone has smiled at you while you were just walking past them and you don't even know this person, I'm assuming it made you feel good. It made you feel happy. So you can do that every single day of your life to a random stranger, and they will feel the same way you felt. So I can think of a time that I've done a random act of kindness. In some jobs, it is much easier to do random acts of kindness than others. For example, at one point in my life, while I was in university, I was working as a barista for 3 years. And throughout that time, there were times when I randomly chose a customer and gave them a free coffee. And the response you get from them when you offer them a free coffee without actually asking them to pay is priceless. They leave the shop happy, and it brightens their whole day. And think about how it would be if they took that random acts of kindness and carried it on. If every person you do a kind thing for does it for someone else, that would create a whole world of random acts of kindnesses that goes around the world and changes everyone's lives. That is a community. So I'm hoping that this kind of gave you all a little bit of an idea about how much impact a small act of kindness can have on you, on other people, and even in your community or around the world. I want to finish this session off by giving you a little bit more about what you can do to take it further. So going forward from this session, in your free times, you can do these 3 things to take this session further. Firstly, you can write an acrostic poem from each of the letters in the words together again. You could use the poem to highlight all the things that you're most grateful to be reconnected with. Or think of other songs or poems whose lyrics verses reflect the idea of connectedness and support, and you can produce some artwork based on keywords or phrases. Some of the suggestions are Umbrella by Rihanna or Alone by Maya Angelou. And my personal favorite, you can hold a random act of kindness day in your school or college. This could include writing a lovely message on a board, leaving a treat on somebody's desk, and if these are done anonymously, it can even feel even more special. And as a final thing to add as well is social action and volunteering has a great impact on every individual that takes part in it and the difference it makes. If you're focusing on a group of individuals, let's say you're focusing on elderly, the work that you do will have an impact on you as much as it has an impact on others. So, and there are always ways that you can take part, even if you do not have time to attend in person. There are some great opportunities virtually as a volunteer jobs that you can do with 2 hours a week that would give so much back to your communities. But if you're not sure where to start, our NCS programs that happens every summer offers you a great experience regarding giving back to your communities. So as part of our program, you get to take part in outdoors activities, as well as some workshops to develop your skills on areas such as public speaking, CV writing, employability skills, and even engagement in social issues and communities. And then afterwards, you get to choose a social issue that you're passionate about. So all that activity we've done before about the local cause that you're passionate about, what difference you want to make, and everything like that. We give you a platform and the resources that you need to achieve that and come to that and finalize that. So we give you an opportunity where you can choose your social issue and come up with a social action project to give back to your communities. And then at the end, you get a certificate, which is UCAS recognized, and our NCS program is also recognized by many universities and organizations across the UK. This is a great opportunity for any students who are aged 16 to 17 to take part in. But as the examples that we've covered previously as well, we also have a secondary project that is happening that has started but is changing from September onwards to include any individuals who are aged 16 to 24 who can focus on a social action project of their own or take part in someone else's. It gives you a platform and the resources that you need to take part in and create a social action project of your own. It is a great opportunity, and if you want to find out about either one of these programs, what you can do is visit our website, which is wearencs.com, to find an NCS program near you to take part in and submit an application, or also apply to our Changemakers program from September onwards to take part in amazing social action projects 5 hours a month. But to finish off, I just want to say thank you so much for having me here today and doing these activities and this session with me. I'm all hoping that you've all learned something amazing about being connected and the power of social action and acts of kindness. And I hope you take those on board and progress in your life by giving more to your communities and to the people around you. So thank you and have a great rest of your day.